Kia ora. Well, I don't know about you, but I'm very much glad it's Friday. Heading in towards the weekend, we see a bit of a split between the islands. Across the North Island, we'll keep hold of this high pressure through the rest of Friday afternoon and also through in towards the weekend. But you can see down south, as this next front runs towards us, it starts to bring some more unsettled weather down across the southern parts of New Zealand, and even the return of some snowfall as well. As we head through the night time tonight, you can see up north, we'll keep hold of plenty of clear sky across the North Island, start to find the cloud thickening up on that western coast. But it's down south, we start to find that next front run towards us. It brings some heavier rainfall, perhaps in towards parts of Fiordland and southern Westland. And as this feature runs northwards, we'll find some snowfall about the higher parts of Southland through the night time, down to around about 400 or 500 metres. And as we head in towards the next day or so, we'll find that front continues to move northwards, pushing that rain and snowfall up in towards parts of central Otago and up in towards Canterbury. Now the front really pushes up against the high pressure and it stalls across these southern parts of New Zealand, and it could bring some fairly significant amounts of snow across parts of central Otago and in towards parts of Canterbury too. So there are some severe weather watches out for those areas as we head through the daytime on Saturday and even through in towards the early hours of Sunday. Now the heaviest snowfall is likely to be above about 600 metres in the south there and above about 500 metres through Canterbury, but I think we could well find snow down to around about 400 or 500 metres in those regions, but it will be enough to impact some of those higher roads, places like the Crown Range Road, places like Milford Road, or even through in towards places like the Haast Road or Lindis Pass, which could find a fairly significant amount with that front just stalling over the top of them. So well worth keeping a close eye on the forecast, especially if you're planning your travelling across the South Island. Let's take a look at the temperatures though overnight tonight. So Friday in towards Saturday morning. Unsurprisingly, it's a cold story with some clearer skies through parts of Canterbury, back down below freezing, zeros and ones. Even on the North Island though, 3 degrees Celsius there for the Central Plateau. One of the warmer spots, Wellington, 11 degrees Celsius. Not a bad time to be in the capital. A good start today on Saturday. And looking at the forecast for the North Island through Saturday, you can see there's plenty of clear sky. We have got a bit more in the way of shower weather just offshore, out to a place like Great Barrier Island, but I think most of that shower activity stays away. We'll find more cloud from, say, Waikato down to Taranaki and across in towards the Kapiti coast, and that could be enough to bring an isolated shower. But even here, I think most of the time it's going to be a dry story. Plenty of clear sky and some sunshine out towards places like Napier and Tairafti. A great day to be out in Hawke's Bay. In terms of our temperatures, we'll find them climbing to highs around about 13 degrees Celsius in Taupo, 15 in Wellington and 16 in Auckland. Down on the South Island, as we start to find that much more active weather for places like Nelson and Marlborough, it's a fine looking day for you. This wet weather though moves northwards, throws that cloud on towards the western coast, and you can see the cloud and wet weather moves up in towards Canterbury as well. It's that transition from rain to snow that's going to be a really interesting one for places like central Otago and up in towards Canterbury. With this front moving northwards, where it sits and stalls for a time, we could find some significant amounts of snowfall. So do keep a close eye on those severe weather watches. They may be upgraded to severe weather warnings as we head through the afternoon. Now most of that snow above about 400 metres and the heaviest above about 600 or so. But it's still enough to impact roads like the Lindis Pass, like the Crown Range Road, a place like the Milford Road as well. So well worth bearing that in mind while you're planning your activities. You can see to the south of it, some nice clear skies back towards places like Invercargill. The downside of that will be a cold night as we head in towards the early hours of Sunday morning. You can see our temperatures will struggle a little bit beneath that cloud, 10s and 11s for places like Dunedin and across in towards Queenstown. Further north, best of that sunshine, 18 degrees Celsius, a real contrast up the island as we head through the daytime. Behind this front, we're in that cold air. No surprise with that return of snowfall, but it will be a case that if you're in those clearer skies down towards places like Invercargill or Gore, it'll be a cold and frosty night for you as you head through in towards Sunday morning. Now for Sunday, you can see this front doesn't make much headway further north. The high pressure acting as a big block to the movement of that front, which is one of the reasons we could find some significant amounts of snowfall through there. That front then moves further southwards, pushes again that wet weather back in towards Fiordland, while some dry weather stays across the North Island. A bit more cloud around the eastern coast for Sunday there. But you can see we'll also find the return of some of that snowfall as that moisture meets the cold air across parts of Southland. Again, above about 400 or 500 metres. but definitely a real taste of some wintry weather down across the South Island. So please do keep a very close eye on the forecasts. And as ever, you can find all the latest information at metservice.com.